What is going on, bandits? Thanks for clicking this video. Welcome to my channel. Today we are switching out a backup sub pump battery. Mine, you can see this blinking red light here, has failed. So how do you switch this out? What's going on? Let's take a look down here. I had this little cool cutout that allows you to see down inside. Anyway, get ahead of myself. This is the sub pump system. It obviously has a main pump that draws the water out this, and I built this little diverter pump, or this PVC route for the backup pump. So when the water obviously gets too high, because the primary pump failed, the secondary one kicks on and can bring water out that PVC. It all feeds into the same one. Anyway, this is the setup here for context. Always good to know context, I think, when you're looking at YouTube videos like this. But here's a little peek down below. You can see it's a little cloudy because the water does spill up. I've basically made a little cutout, put some clear plastic through, and then sealed it up with silicone so you can actually see it and the water level as opposed to being blind. But you can see the pump there. The primary one's on the top. The secondary backup one is on the bottom of the screen. And there's a live shot of water actually trickling out after heavy rain. So it fills up pretty quickly, and it's a concern, obviously, to have the battery, the backup battery, even though we've never used it as far as I know. Meaning we could have been out of town when it kicked on or something. But, I mean, I would know because the primary pump wouldn't have worked. It would always be on, right? Also, the power, when the power goes out, it could also activate, obviously, because the primary uses electricity. So anyway, let's go ahead and just test this battery and confirm. This is a 12-volt battery and a specific size with the little knobs you can see there. You could put it in a car and it would work, I think, but it's got these little knobs to hook up. We're going to take out the multimeter and we're just going to test it here to see what it's reading. We're going to get this thing out so you can see the screen and get the prongs ready to go. We'll put those on the terminal, positive with positive, negative with negative. And we'll get a firm reading. You can see 0.01 volt. The multimeter is set to 20 volts. All right, it's break time. Welcome to my channel. Click that subscribe button, like this video if it's helping you out, and share this with somebody that you know. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and check the links in the description. Which means this baby is fully discharged. So we're gonna unscrew the little terminal rings here for the wing nuts, back those off. That's positive. We'll keep those in a safe place. Do the same thing with the negative. Now in theory it could use a regular car battery, but they don't have these little special terminals for these rings to provide power. So it means I'll probably have to go shopping, and I'll put links down in the description for recommended replacement batteries. Let me show you here what the setting is a little closer. 20 volt, because it's a 12 volt battery. We just need something higher than 12. Make sure those plugs are plugged into the correct port. And we'll test that out one more time so you can get kind of a better look. You can put those terminals or those prongs on either the pegs that we did before or the main terminals themselves. Now the reading's a little different. And we had those rings connected before we did that measurement. So 0.29, still pretty darn dead battery if you ask me. We're gonna bring it out to the garage and just attempt charging it back up. The battery system had a built-in or a trickle charger. That's what those plugs were for. So it should prevent the battery from depleting or discharging unless it's faulty. So I doubt this charger will work, but we're gonna try it nonetheless. We're gonna go ahead and put this on the old one-handed, kind of slippery little things there, but I've got this separate trickle charger in my garage that I use for my car battery, actually, like in cold weather and whatnot. But here we go. It does. A lot of people say, no, you can't fully charge a dead battery with a trickle charger, but this thing is pretty heavy duty. It's weird. And look at that. With the charger on, it's reading 13.8, which is, I think, good. We're going to let that charge up for a while, and I'm going to come back out here a couple hours later and we'll see, take the charger off and we'll get another reading here. Again, the old one-handed. I know, buy a tripod, right? Okay, so it charged up to 5.2 after a couple of hours. So we're gonna put those back on and we're gonna keep charging this and see if it can get up to a reasonable number, which, I don't know, maybe 12 or 13. Maybe, I don't know. 13.8 is what it's reading once the charger's on. So I think that's kind of the goal. All right, another couple of hours, which I think this is like 6 hours later on top of that. So plenty of time for it in theory to charge up and do its job. Let's see, what are we at? 8.2, and it's fastly dwindling. Look at that. So it's probably a faulty battery, but just to be sure, before I go out and drop $100 on a new battery, I need to make sure it's not the trickle charger in the basement or the one that I just put on there. So we're gonna actually test out, we're gonna switch it out with a regular car battery and let it charge up using the alternator, the charging system in the car. The multimeter read on a normal battery, this is the normal battery that's running here, 12.45 before it was started, and then it went up to like 14 or something. So we're gonna get the new battery, or the battery in the car, go ahead and take that off, take that out of there, and we're gonna put the sub pump battery, again, it's a 12-volt battery, so no problem. We're gonna get this one, this is the spent discharged one, installed. And of course, you might be asking, well, how can you start the car with a discharged battery or one that only has like 8 volts? Well, stay with me and you'll see. Let's get a quick reading here to make sure those numbers. Oh gosh, it already went down to 0.27. Okay. So I've got those actually the stabilized. And what we're going to do is use the jump starter so you can get a live reading on the multimeter of what this thing goes up to. We know it's got a really low voltage reading when it's just sitting there, but when you start it up, what is that maximum voltage going to jump up to? So we're going to get the jump starter out. I love my little portable jump starter here. This one's relatively new. I had my old one for like, I don't know, 5 years or something, and then the battery started to swell. Had to recycle and replace that. This one seems to be doing the trick. Made a separate video on reviewing this bad boy.
Ready.
But anyway, we've got everything set up here. Very strong reading.
Keep going.
And it dipped down to 11.
Okay.
And then peaked at 15 something, I think. I don't know how accurate that is. My multimeter does not have a record function on it, unfortunately. But I'm standing right there while my wife started the car for me. Yeah, she started it and then accidentally turned it off, and I needed it to be running because we're going to let this thing run for a couple of hours and just let it charge. We'll put that trickle charger back away. We won't need that. And we're going to let that, after that charges for several hours, we'll go ahead and kill the engine. You can see the voltage dropping 1.71. So yeah, this thing is toast. We're going to go ahead and make that a little more secure. Yeah, 1.7. That's all we've got, unfortunately. So I'm going to go ahead and dispose responsibly of this spent battery. That does happen over time. It's 3 years old. And then we can go ahead and after we purchase a new battery, bring it down into the basement and just hook everything back up where it goes. Now, for purposes of this video, I'm going to just hold these terminals in place. You could use a regular cheap 12-volt battery if you have an adapter to basically connect these rings to around the terminals, right? I recommend a deep cycle 12-volt battery, and you can Google, which one you should use for a sub pump. But basically, if you could have an adapter that puts these allows you to clip these, the charging rings on, then you could just use that. You don't have to go out and buy a special one with those little like smaller diameter pins that you slip the rings over. So you just basically hold it in place like that, and then your battery, if your battery's good, right, then that red blinking light will turn off. It'll go to a green status, which means your battery's working and your sub pump battery system is online once again. Okay, and that is basically how I did it and how you can do it as well. Hopefully this video's helped you out. Appreciate you being with me today, and stay sneaky. Are you okay? Look, come over here.